Have you ever wondered why some people start from nothing, yet end up going farther than anyone could imagine? Is it luck? Or maybe something deeper, the quiet strength to keep walking, even when there's nothing left to hold on to? Today, I want to share a story with you about a young man named Liam, who discovered one of life's hardest truths. Nothing is free. No dream, no success, no peace of mind comes without a price, paid in effort, time, and the courage to keep believing. Liam was 20, living in a small, quiet town surrounded by mountains. His father was a mechanic. His mother cleaned houses. His little sister Ella was 10, and she looked up to him as her hero, the one who could turn small hopes into miracles. One cold evening, under a sky full of stars, Liam whispered, "I'll give my family a better life, even if I start from nothing." The next morning, he shared his dream with his father. His father smiled and said, "Dreams aren't free, Liam. Start with what you have." Those words planted a seed deep inside Liam's heart, a seed that would one day grow through hardship, failure, and fire. In his town, people loved fresh bread, but the nearest bakery was far away. Liam saw an opportunity, small but real. He decided to visit Mr. Bennett, the old baker from the next town. The man was known for his temper and his perfect bread. Liam walked nearly 10 miles to meet him. When he arrived, exhausted and sweaty, his eyes still carried a spark of hope. "Mr. Bennett," he said, "I want to sell your bread in my town. I don't have money yet, but give me 1 week to prove myself." The old man frowned. "And why should I trust a boy who has nothing?" he asked, his eyes sharp but curious. Liam replied softly, "Because I'm not asking for pity. I'm asking for a chance." Silence filled the bakery. Then finally Mr. Bennett nodded. "1 week," he said. "If you fail, don't come back." The next morning, Liam carried a heavy basket of bread back to his town and set up a small table near the park. "Fresh bread, still warm," he called out, smiling at every passerby. At first, no one stopped, but Liam didn't give up. He offered free samples, and soon one old woman bought a loaf, then another, and another. By evening, his basket was empty, every loaf sold. That night he returned to Mr. Bennett and placed the money on the counter. "You kept your word," said Mr. Bennett. "Come back tomorrow." From that day on, Liam's mornings began before dawn. He would walk for miles, carry the bread, sell it with a smile, and walk back again, day after day without complaint. He wasn't just selling bread. He was selling trust, kindness, and the quiet energy of someone who refused to give up. 2 months later, Liam had saved enough to buy a small cart. His little business was growing, 1 loaf at a time. One afternoon, a customer said, "You're great at selling, Liam, but if you bake your own bread, you'll earn much more." The idea excited and scared him. He had never baked before, but he knew that to grow, he had to take new risks. The next morning, he returned to Mr. Bennett. "Sir," he said, "will you teach me how to bake?" The old man frowned. "If I teach you, you'll stop buying from me." "Why should I help you?" Liam looked straight into his eyes and said, "Because if I ever succeed, I'll never forget the man who gave me my first chance." Mr. Bennett stared at him for a long moment. Then he sighed. "All right, but baking isn't easy. It takes patience and hard work." "If you can handle that," he said, "then come back tomorrow morning." The lessons began before sunrise. Liam learned to mix flour, knead dough, and wait for the bread to rise, again and again. Some days, the dough was too hard. Some days, it burned. His hands ached. His confidence crumbled. One morning, after another failed batch, he sat down and whispered, "Maybe I'm not made for this." But then he remembered his father's words. "Dreams aren't free, Liam." So he stood up, wiped his tears, and tried again. Week after week, the bread improved. One morning, Mr. Bennett handed him a golden loaf and said, "This is perfect. You're ready." Liam smiled through his tears. That loaf wasn't just bread. It was every failure turned into strength. He rented a small oven and started baking at home. His mother helped, and Ella wrapped the bread with joy and pride. Soon, his little business became a family dream. Every loaf carried warmth, patience, and love. Liam's fresh bakes soon became a local favorite. People loved his soft bread, sweet pastries, and his genuine smile. Life was finally looking up, until one morning a new bakery opened across the street. It was bright, fancy, and owned by a young man named Eric. People flocked there out of curiosity. Liam watched his customers leave, one by one. Fear crept in. What if everything he built was about to crumble? But instead of complaining, he decided to learn. He visited Eric's shop, bought a loaf, and listened to people's opinions. "His cakes are prettier," one said. "The place looks clean and modern," said another. That night, Liam stayed up thinking. "Maybe I don't need to be bigger," he thought. "Maybe I just need to be better." So he painted his cart, learned cake decoration from library books and free videos, and added new pastries to his menu. Slowly, people returned, not because of marketing, but because of his consistency, kindness, and quiet strength. Months passed, and Liam's bakery became the heart of the town, warm, familiar, and full of stories. But life always finds a way to test us again. One stormy night, as Liam was closing his shop, he smelled smoke. Flames were spreading from the oven. He ran inside, throwing water with his bare hands until the fire died down. When it was over, most of his tools were ruined. The next morning, townspeople gathered, whispering, "Maybe this is the end." Liam stood silently, staring at the blackened walls. His chest tightened, not from fear but from loss. Then he took a deep breath and said softly, "Fire can burn bread, but it cannot burn my will." He checked his savings, not enough to rebuild. For a moment, doubt whispered again. Maybe this time it's too hard. But he shook his head. "I've started from zero before," he reminded himself. "I can do it again." The next day, he visited Mr. Bennett, now retired. The old man smiled as soon as he saw him. "You already know what to do," Mr. Bennett said. "Work harder. Believe in yourself, and others will believe too." Those words rekindled something inside Liam, the same fire that had once turned struggle into strength. Liam began again, baking from home with the few tools he had left. His kitchen became his battlefield, and his hope. "I'll keep serving you," he told his customers, "even if it's just a few loaves for now." The people saw his courage. One neighbor brought flour, another brought sugar, and others donated small amounts of money. Some even came to help clean and paint. It wasn't just a bakery anymore. It was a community rising together. Months later, Liam's Fresh Bakes reopened. It wasn't grand, but it was beautiful. Warm, bright, full of love. On opening day, the town's mayor came and said, "Liam has shown us that nothing in life is truly free. But when we work with heart and persistence, life gives back something far greater, trust and respect." Liam stood before the crowd, eyes shining. "I started with empty hands," he said, "and now I hold everything that matters. Not money, but faith, love, and the power to build again." The crowd applauded, and Ella smiled proudly. From Liam's story, we can all learn something. First, dreams aren't free. We must pay with effort, sacrifice, and patience. Second, failure is not the end. It's a mirror showing who we are when things fall apart. Third, help yourself first, and when people see your effort, they'll want to help too. And finally, success has no secret formula, only hard work, honesty, and the courage to keep moving. Every step matters. Every mistake teaches. Every act of faith builds something unseen, but lasting. Inside each of us, there's a small oven where our dreams rise, our patience burns, and our resilience is tested. Sometimes the dough fails. Sometimes the fire gets too hot, but those moments shape the flavor of who we become. Nothing is free might sound harsh, but maybe it's life's fairest gift, because what we earn with our own hands, no one can ever take away. Work with your heart, fail, learn, rise again, and your life will carry the fragrance of something truly yours. If this story touched you, share it with someone who might need a quiet reminder. That effort always pays off. And tell us in the comments, what's the first small step you'll take toward your dream today? Remember, here at English Richness, we don't just tell stories to help you learn English. We share stories that help you learn about life, about falling, standing, and believing again. Because language is just the beginning, what we're truly learning is the power to shape our own destiny. So subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and let's walk this journey together. Every story is a seed of growth. Every lesson, a brick for your better future. Together we learn. Together we grow. Because here at English Richness, it's always about one thing: better English, better life.